how to create an atmosphere that promotes peace and harmony in the family. It's all about peace and unity. Making sure that our family is bonded, we are together. We started last month, this month, that is last week, and we are still on it. Now, it is surprising that parents always expect their children to just have this unity, expect children to have unity, or parents, when they get to a certain age, they expect their children to just be so much into them, trust them, believe in them, just have this certain bond with them. Nah, it doesn't happen like that always. If it happens maybe once or twice, but out of 100, no, it has to be a very tiny percentage that happens. A lot of the times you have to deliberately create a system that nurtures it, a system that promotes it, a system that will make sure it happens. And it's all what we are doing this month in the Visionary Parent Academy. So we started last week, and this week is all about creating an atmosphere that nurtures trust and respect. Because when it comes to family unity, trust and respect is key. Recently, I heard someone saying that the siblings don't, not even recently, I've heard it over and over again. Most times the eldest of the family will say, my siblings don't respect me, my siblings don't respect me. That is the issue. Someone will say, something is happening to your sibling, you don't care. And he will say, why would I care when they don't respect me? This goes to tell you, I'm sure you listening to me, you watching me, you've heard this before, siblings having issues because of respect. I also remember one of my elder sisters back then, and she was always big on respect. You don't respect me. I was born before you. I did this before you. Every single time, respect. How about now? And I remember one of us would tell her, go and use respect to open accounts now. Go and use the respect to shop. So it goes to tell you that respect is key in family harmony and family harmony. Trust is key in family harmony. When you trust someone, it is easy for you to actually respect them. So if you are looking at making sure your children have this harmony, have this unity, have this bond within them, one of the things you want to pay deliberate attention to is respect and trust. And by respect, I don't mean the kind we hear, oh, brother this, brother that, egbon, coming from Lagos. It is very common for you to see siblings that have just one month apart, maybe cousins 1 month apart, and it's all about brother this, brother that. And no, that's not the kind of respect I mean. The kind of mutual respect, that leads to trust, that leads to unity, that leads to harmony, that leads to peace. That is what I am talking about, and it's super important to deliberately nurture it in your children. My name is Enimi Orebo. If you are seeing me for the first time, this is Parenting with Enimi Orebo, and this program is brought to you by the Visionary Parent Academy. Yes, we have an academy where parents come together, they get empowered, to put in confidence, to craft their vision and smash their parenting vision. It's a beautiful academy, and I encourage you to join us for 2025 because we are open for registration already, and we have amazing things we do there. A lot of things we do there. You start by creating your vision, you get a family constitution, you create a family structure. We are big on connection, we are big on cooperation from our children. We have a lot of things we do. Like this month is all about how to foster, nurture peace and harmony in our family. Last month was about nurturing self-confidence in our children. Every month we have a theme for the month, and we have this class, then we have templates, we have challenge, we have a lot of activities we use to actually go further to make sure parents, yes, thank you so much, family unity, thank you for joining me. We have a lot of activities we do to make sure that parents learn, they take action, and they get results. So I encourage you to register with us, the Visionary Parent Academy, especially if you are if you're a parent who is considering joining the Parenting Academy for 2025, I tell you that the Visionary Parent Academy is a place you want to join. If you're also a parent who has a lot of questions, the Visionary Parent Academy is definitely a place you want to join. So let's go into what we have today: nurturing trust and respect in your family for the sake of family peace and unity. Let me talk quickly about the advantages of trust and respect in the family. First of all, trust encourages open communication. Yes, when your trust each other, it is easy for you to open up. When your children trust you as a parent, it's easy for them to open up. When siblings trust each other, it is easy for them to talk to each other, have open communication with each other, understand each other. I know he did it for a reason. I know he did not just do it with an evil intention. I know he didn't do it. So they will trust each other. They'll be able to communicate with each other. They'll be able to forgive each other. I'll go into forgiveness later. When families trust each other, it helps build emotional security. You trust your family to be always there for you. You trust your family, yes, even when something is not going right, you know that your family will always tell you the truth. You know that what your family is telling you is the truth. It is why I constantly tell parents that stop forcing your children. Don't always use force, because force makes it about you. If you want them to trust you, you want to drop that force and you want to tell them the benefits of what it is, whatever it is. You want to constantly tell them the benefits. Sometimes in the midst of their anger, they are angry. They may not understand, they may not feel you. But I tell you, when you have sold the benefit to them consistently, they'll go back and reflect and they'll realize, okay, it is for my own good. That is one thing that happens. It's easy for them to actually be secure emotionally when they trust you. It reduces conflicts and misunderstanding. I just shared about that in passing. Yes, trust. They know that, okay, this thing is not for my sibling didn't mean it. I trust them and I know what they can do, and I know, okay, they've done something, okay, it was a mistake. They have said it was a mistake, then it was a mistake. I tell my children that, yes, your sibling said it was a mistake. It was a mistake. Take it that it was a mistake. Someone tells you, oh, it's a mistake, then it is a mistake. However, when trust is not there, they may begin to say, oh, it's not a mistake, he did it intentionally. So, but when trust is there, it is easy for them to understand where you are coming from, believe you, and take you at face value and run with that. It strengthens family bond. Absolutely, it strengthens family bond. When there is trust in the family is more bonded. There is unity in the family, because I trust my siblings to always be there for me. I trust my parents to always be there for me. Even when they are not there for me, there is a valid reason why they are not readily there. Because I trust them. I know that they are not selfish people. I know that they care about me. So even when they say, oh, I couldn't show up because of XYZ, I believe they indeed couldn't show up because of XYZ. That is what happens when you have built trust and respect in your family. Now we are going to go into how to actually build it in the family, but before then, I'd like to remind you again that this is brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. An academy that you want to join, especially for 2025. We have a whole lot of amazing things for you. Now, I shared on Facebook today a book we have created for you, 366 prayer journal for parents. A book that it is going to be absolutely free. It is about over 200 pages. So if you are going to sell that book, I'm sure we're not going to sell it less than 3,000 naira, but we are giving it to you for free. So because we are going to incorporate prayers into our activities in the Visionary Parents Academy. We also have a lot of other materials. We are going to give you materials, practical materials, templates, practical materials that will literally hold you by your hand to do anything you want to do, except you are just a lazy parent. You don't like taking action. If you are a parent that takes action, if you are a parent that is not a lazy parent, I tell you, at the end of the day, you are going to be highly, highly transformed in your parenting when you take action. So let's go. How to build trust in the family. First, be consistent and reliable. Be consistent and reliable. Consistency, when we talk about consistency in your behaviors, when we talk about predictability in your behaviors, it goes a long way. There are so many things that you cannot just narrow it down. You cannot just say this is the reason why you need to do this. For example, I say don't force your children. A lot of benefits. I say give your children responsibilities. A lot of benefits. It is not just one thing. I say be consistent. A lot of benefits. I say pause, process before you proceed to respond. A lot of benefits. Being consistent makes it easy for your children to trust you. They can predict you. So when you have your values as a family, you want your children to learn from your value. Because you are consistent, it is easy for you to sell your values to them, for them to believe you, for them to trust you. They all know it is what it is. So at this point as a parent, if you still don't have your family values that guide your decisions, that guide your parenting choices, then you are not doing yourself a favor. You're not doing your family any good. You can't take the place of value, creating your values from your parenting intentionally. Now, this is why in the Visionary Parent Academy, one of the things we do when we create our vision is we create our values. We create our values. There's a master class in here on how to help your children understand, learn, and internalize your values. You may go back and see it. I think it was a live class too. So you must have your values. And when you have your values, you must be consistent. I tell my children, when I say children, I mean children in church, children I teach, because I don't only teach my children, I also teach other children, in church and in schools. I tell them that, see, value is just an idea until acted upon. You can't tell someone, oh, I'm a very patient person, and when they see you, you are so impatient, you are so intolerant. Nah, you are not a patient person. You don't even need to tell somebody, oh, I'm a very honest person. You don't even need to say it. They see you being honest. They see honesty in all the things you do, in all your dealings. They see honesty, and that is how they know you are honest. So yes, you can't take values away from your parenting. You have to set your values and be consistent. It's not just having a list of values. No, you must be consistent. It must reflect in your choices every single day. If you say you are honest, then you have to always be honest. You are on the phone. You are not going to tell somebody I'm on my way when you are not on your way. That is not being honest. You are not going to, maybe you run a shop, you are going to say one thing about just lying all over the place. No, that is not being honest. Even as a wife, for example, you are not going to inflate price when you are dealing with your spouse. That is not being honest, because your kids are always watching you. So you need to be super consistent. You need to stand for something, and your children need to know what you stand for. That is one way they can trust you and respect you. They will know exactly what you stand for. They can define you. You can wake them up from the sleep. They can define you. If they say, oh, who is your role model? And they say, my mom is my role model. They should actually understand why you are their role model. Not because, oh, people are saying it, or because, okay, they don't want to hurt your feelings, or because they don't know what it means to be a role model. Not because of that. Because you actually have the values. You represent certain values that they see and they appreciate, they have learned, and they also want to represent in the future. So you need to be super consistent. We can't take consistency away. Consistency simply means you are what you say you are all of the time. This house is painted gray. Anytime you come here, the house is gray. Come rain, come sun, the house is gray. That is you being consistent. That is you being consistent. So you don't tell you are someone of integrity. Come rain, come sun, you are someone who shows integrity in all you do. That is how you can be consistent. That is how your children can learn to trust you. And you can also be super reliable. They know that they can always come to you. My mom is always there, no matter what it is. My mom is always there. Yes, even if I go wrong, she will tell me I have gone wrong, but that doesn't mean I will not be a shoulder for her. Yes, I will still be a shoulder for her. You are going to do this and create it in your family, amongst your children. The next one is, okay, practice honesty. I've talked about this. Super important. Be honest with your feelings. Be honest with every single thing you need to be honest with. It is how you can build trust in your family. If you have a system that promotes honesty, if you have a system that promotes honesty, it is easy for siblings to trust each other. It is easy for children to trust you and for you to trust them. One thing that happens is, if your children don't tell lies, right? If you have been able to groom them not to tell lies, at least, right? Not to minimize the truth, not to tell lies. It's easy for you to actually trust them. It becomes super easy for you to trust them. And when you trust them, it makes them easy for them to trust you in return, for them to depend on you, for them to rely on you, because there is trust there. So it is why it is super important for you to nurture trust in your children. Nurture trust in your children. Nurture honesty in them. Talk to them about honesty. Why it's important to be honest. They need to be honest with each other. You know, I have a case in that is very close to home. What happened was a case of dishonesty when these boys were small. They were very young. They were still in secondary school. One of them said, according to one of them, he actually, the other one is a fashionista. The other boy has a good taste in fashion, but he has always struggled with fashion. He doesn't have a good fashion sense. So one day he gave the other one money and said, okay, help me buy a cloth. Help me buy cloth, for me, And the other one actually went to buy a cloth with his friend. He went to buy a cloth with his friend. He got there, he shortchanged the brother. Instead of him to buy, he just bought any cloth for the brother. When he came, first of all, the brother was like, this cloth, I don't like this cloth now. Why did you buy this cloth? It doesn't look so nice. And then later, the friend he went with now told the brother that he bought this cloth at a very ridiculously small amount, and he told you he bought it at a very expensive amount, which means he shortchanged his brother. Dishonesty. This thing happened these boys I'm talking about, they are adults, married with their families, yet that simple act of dishonesty sowed a seed amongst them that is still lingering until them. Something that happened when they were in secondary school. Till today, they both have their families. They also have their children in secondary school. They still have that same seed of discord. Dishonesty was a seed of discord amongst them. That is still a seed of discord amongst them till today. You don't know. That is why when people say, oh, one of the major reasons for sibling rivalry is favoritism. I say no. If you're a parenting coach like me, who has seen a lot of real life situations, you will know that favoritism is it is one of it, but it is not the most of it. It is not the biggest elephant in the room. That dishonesty from small sow a seed of discord, stilty amongst them till tomorrow. I said these are people that are very close to home. So this is not a case of them say, it's a case of first-hand experience. So your children, you must learn to nurture honesty in them. Talk to them what it means to be honest. Talk to them why they should be honest. Yes, I tell my children that, see, if you are not honest, people cannot trust you. You know what they say, scratch a thief and find a liar, or scratch a liar and find a thief. It is what it is. If you are not honest, people cannot trust you. When something happens tomorrow, it is going to be you. They are going to blame you. The story of the boy that cried, the boy that cried wolf. Yes, because the first time he cried wolf, the second time he cried wolf. When wolves really came to attack his flock, no one believed him. That is exactly what happens when you are not honest. It is why you do not have a choice. You just have to be honest, because a time will come when you will be speaking the truth. No one will believe you. A time will come when you will be telling the truth. Yes, no one will believe you, and that is the time you will actually need people to believe you more. So dishonesty, you must practice honesty. As a parent, you must model it. You must teach your children to be honest with each other. You must teach them to believe in each other, believe each other, be honest with each other. It is not even negotiable. And one of the things that makes us dishonest most of the time is when we make mistakes. Yes, mistakes are a part of life. It is why I say to parents, normalize mistakes in your parenting. Normalize mistakes. Your children will make mistakes. It is part of life that mistakes are a part of life. They will make mistakes. So what you do with that mistake will go a long way to impact how they will relate with you next time. Will go a long way to impact how honest they will be to you next time. You know, normalize mistakes. Even when you make mistake as a parent, own it. You've made a mistake. It doesn't define you. Mistakes are only a part of life that cannot be taken away. I tell my children that the only person that doesn't make mistake in this world is a person that is not doing anything. As long as you are doing something, you are going to make a mistake. So what happens? Mistake, there are lessons for you. Oh, I've made this mistake. Why did I make this mistake? How did I make this mistake? And I tell them that, see, there's a difference between a fool and a wise. A fool is someone who makes a mistake and never learns from it. They go back. Why the wise is someone. Okay, that is the difference between a fool and a wise. So mistakes are a part of life. All you need to do as a child growing up, all you need to, okay, sorry, I knew it, but I don't know why it didn't pop up. I was looking for it. Yeah. Thank you. So all you need to do is you take your mistake as lessons and you learn from it. The next thing you want to do as a parent is you want to create a safe space for sharing. Create a safe space for sharing. It is super important that your home is safe for sharing. Now, this is one of the reasons why I encourage family traditions. For example, in the Visionary Parents Academy, I encourage deliberate weekly bonding activities. Because it makes it easy for everyone to relax. Everyone is relaxed, everyone is sharing, everyone is happy. Deliberately create traditions, family traditions, movie nights. I was telling my children a while ago that next year our life will not longer be on Friday, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, so that on Friday we can add Friday to our movie night. We can see a movie on Friday, we can see another movie on 2 movies the weekend, since they don't see movies all through the week. So weekend you can actually see 2 or 3 movies, you know, and learn from it, because movies are also a teaching tools in our parenting. So that is it. Create a safe space. Your space is not safe if you are constantly nagging, whining, yelling, hitting. Your space is not safe, because one of the things that happens, I've come to realize that one of the major things that happens that makes family not to be united, it is when the house is constantly heated up. At least in my family growing up, that was one of the major things that caused a lot of friction amongst us, the children. The house was constantly heated up. When you as a parent, you come in, you are always nagging, you are always nagging, you are always yelling, always smacking. The children, they don't have time to bond. They don't have time to they don't have time to be happy, to make merry. So what they do is they are looking for where to hide. They are taking cover. Everybody wants to hide away from you. Everybody wants to hide away from you. That is what they are doing. So the time they're supposed to bond, they are hiding. Everyone wants to say, I wasn't the one though, it wasn't me. Everybody wants to hide. They want to deny. Because the house is always heated up.
And if they are doing the wrong, and if they are doing the wrong thing and they see you, they'll try to hide it.
So that is it. Everybody wants to hide. They want to hide. They want to run away. Because And he's growing up. My dad was such that as soon as he entered the gates, there was always, if I will hear his car honking, you just have to go and hide somewhere. Because as soon as he entered the house, there will always be drama. There will be something to complain about. There will be something to yell about, something to nag about. So as soon as he heard his car honking, you just have to take cover. So even if you were laughing with your siblings up and down, you have to go and hide. Because there's something we used to call Calabar knock. He will use this knuckles like this to give you one at the middle of your head, and then you will see your ancestors. You know, that was actually a brain resetting knock in those days. So when you are constantly heating up your environment, your children will not have time to have fun. They will not have time to play. They will not have time to bond, because they will be literally walking on eggshell. Your home will not be a safe space. When they tell you something, you are always judgmental, you are always angry, you are always blaming them. They will not want to share. You know, as they don't want to share with you, they don't even want to share with their siblings, because their siblings may come and share with you. Remember, because you are always hitting up the environment, they try to be in your good books. They can even betray each other, manipulate each other to be in your good book. To be in your good book. So that is it. Make sure your environment is not constantly heated up. If your environment is constantly heated up, like I have shared, your children will not have the time to bond. They will not have the time to be together. Someone is always getting into trouble. There's always judgments going on. You are always nagging about something. You are always yelling about something. You are always smacking about something. There will be no time for bonding, because everyone is walking on eggshells. So you really need to minimize all that drama and deliberately make your home a safe space, so that siblings can share with each other. They can share with you. That is one way to foster peace and harmony in your family. Another thing is teach your children forgiveness. Oh my gosh, I cannot take this away. You cannot take this away from you. Want to raise children who will be bonded, right? Who will enjoy peace and unity. Please teach them forgiveness. It is super important that they learn to forgive. You know why? Because your children, no matter, even if they are twins, they are of different personalities. Even if they have different personalities, so their personalities will always come to play, will always come to clash. Their personality will determine their interests. Their personality will influence a lot of things about them. So they are going to offend each other. One of them may be too noisy. The other one will say, you are always making noise. Please calm down. I don't like it. And the other one will say, the other day I was talking, you were hushing me. Nah. So you must deliberately begin to teach them to forgive. And one way to teach them to forgive is you forgive. Forgive. I was talking to a parent the other day who was angry, and she was telling me she was angry with her mom. She blocked her mom, she blocked her siblings, she blocked everybody. And when I heard the matter, I don't understand. It didn't make jack sense to me. It was her own insecurity. It was her own issue. It was her own issue, what she has not healed from. She has not healed from herself, but she didn't realize it. She said, she even met a therapist. She has healed. Now she has not healed from herself. That lack of healing she was talking about, she blocked her siblings, blocked her mom. Over what? I didn't get it. Like I always said, I can only talk. I cannot enter inside of you to force you. I understood her family dynamics very well, because my family, talking about where I'm coming from, is close to that. But hey, you are the intentional person. You are the one that will decide to do things differently, So how are you going to teach your children to forgive each other when you are not modeling it? When you are harboring grudges over nothing against your family, everybody in your family, you blocked everybody. You need to model forgiveness to your children. You need to teach them how to forgive. Even you in your relationship with your children, you need to forgive them because they are going to offend you, they are going to upset you. You also need to forgive and constantly teach them to forgive each other, because one of the things that lead to siblings not being united is because there's a grudge somewhere. I know the funny thing, many times it may be a misinterpretation. Someone does something, you don't have a clear picture, you think it is what they have done, and what you think is not actually what they have done. You bear the grudge. You need to teach your children to forgive. Forgiveness. If you want to nurture a family system that is rich in peace and harmony, that is rich in unity, you cannot take forgiveness away from it. Your children must learn to forgive each other. It is not the easiest of things to do, to forgive, but they must learn to forgive each other. You must nurture it in them. You must constantly teach them to forgive. Nurture it. Teach truth. Maybe we'll do a class on how to raise forgiving children. They must learn to forgive. Like I said the last time, children and siblings are siblings' first best friend. That's why you ask a 5-year-old who's your best friend, they'll mention their sibling. You ask a 3-year-old who's your best friend, they'll mention their sibling. So if they were best friends, then at what age do they fall apart? You must learn to nurture forgiveness. They must learn to forgive. They will forgive you, the parents, because you are going to offend them. They will forgive you as the parents. You are not perfect, you will forgive them. You offend them. Their siblings, you offend them. So they will learn to forgive. Forgiveness is super key. They must learn to forgive. It is super important. That is why in my home I tell my children, we don't keep malice. We express our feelings. Someone has said something, has done something that you don't like, you're not comfortable with, you are going to let them know point blank what they have done, how they have offended you. And when your sibling comes to tell you have offended me, you don't go and start becoming defensive. Don't be defensive. Apologize, because the truth of the matter is, I used to do this back in the classroom when I was still very active in the classroom. I'll tell a student, okay, you sit. The student will sit carelessly. I'll tell the other one, okay, one of them will just sit carelessly. The other one, okay, will just walk past carelessly. Maybe you close your eyes, you're not watching. And you realize that most of the time, the one that has this or our eyes closed, we step on the one that sat carelessly. And then they start having an argument. You stepped on me. If your eyes were opened, you would have known that you stepped on me. If you were not watching your way, you would have known you stepped on me. The other one would say, if you had not placed your leg carelessly, you would have removed your leg when I was coming. I wouldn't have stepped on you. There's always two sides to it. So what do? Both of you will take responsibility for your actions. Okay, if I had sat properly, you wouldn't have really stepped on me. No matter how careless you were walking, you wouldn't have stepped on me. And the other man would say, oh, if I was watching my way, if I had paid more attention to what I was doing, I definitely would have seen your leg and I wouldn't have stepped on you. So what does that mean? I've learned my lesson, you have learned your lesson. I'm sorry for stepping on you. I'm sorry for actually sitting carelessly for you to step on me. You teach them to actually apologize, understand from the other person's perspective, and know what you have done and apologize. It doesn't take anything away from you to say I'm sorry. Absolutely nothing away from you to say I'm sorry. So teach your children to apologize. And sometimes the truth, another thing about offending people is that you may not even have realized you have offended someone. Yes, you may not have realized it. So when they tell you offended me, why argue with them? I didn't do it. No. I'm sorry, it doesn't take anything away from you. So teach your children to forgive each other. Teach them. You can't talk about family harmony and peace without forgiveness. They must learn to forgive each other and encourage mutual support. This is super important. As a family, we are a team. We must support each other. We are not in a competition. I saw someone shared on Facebook one time that the husband went to China and then he now saw a factory or something. They were manufacturing a particular shoe, a particular size of shoe. All the shoes were one size. He now bought about 5 pairs, maybe 3 pairs for the son. When he got back to Nigeria, the children were angry. He bought only for this one. So even when the father tried to explain, they did not understand. You know, since then, what they now do is they must buy for everyone. I said, nah, I won't do that. I remember when my kids were much younger, my daughter would always want, if the other kids, it was just her, my son. If my son got something and she didn't get, she'll be upset, you know, she'll be crying, and she'll be carrying face. Nah. So one day I had to tell her that, you see, the world does not revolve around you. It will not always be, you will not always get something because someone else has it. Nah. That's how life works. You will always have people who have finer things. You always have people who have something that you do not have. So are you going to always be angry, be crying because your brother gets something? Maybe I'm coming, I say, oh, this will be nice on my son. I get it, and I didn't get for you because I didn't see anyone that will be nice on you, and you are going to be angry. No, you are not going to be angry, because in life you will meet occasions, you will meet opportunities, you will meet people that will get something. They'll earn certain privileges you will not earn. You will not get it. So I taught her, instead of you to be unhappy that your brother has something, rejoice with your brother. Check it out. Compliment it. Be happy that your brother has something. Be happy your brother has something. Compliment it. Celebrate your brother's win. It became a rule in my house. Celebrate your brother's win. Whoever is winning, celebrate their win. Support each other. It became a rule ever since then. And ever since then, I deliberately make sure that I don't get something for all of them at the same time. Except, of course, the case where it has to be. It has to be. Then I get for all of them. If it's not the case that it has to be, no. I see something for one, I get for you. When I see for the next person, I get for the next person. When I see for the other person, I get for you. That is it. So no, it is not a laid down rule that if A has B, C has B, D has B. No, there is no rule for that. You don't. I tell them that your brother needs it, so he gets it. And if you need it, you will get it. But if you don't need this, you will not get it simply because your brother has it. Is a no, because you do not need it. That is it. So teach them to support each other from small. Let them learn to cheer each other. Be each other's cheerleader. One is playing for a team, the other is not part of the team. Cheer your brother up. Once your brother, your sibling is there, it doesn't matter if your best friend is there. Your sibling is the person you are going to cheer up. Your sibling is the person, because indeed, if blood is thicker than water, blood has to be practically thicker than water. Family first all of the time. So teach them to support each other. Another thing you want to do is you want to model respectful behaviors to your children. It is super important. Like I said, respect is key. You hear siblings saying they don't respect me, they don't value me, they don't know my worth. It is one of the things that bring about family disharmony, disunity. So teach siblings to respect each other. And as a parent, you also must respect your children. One of the things I've realized, I always tell parents, is that one of the things that will cause your kids to rival is the way they talk to each other. There are some people that are intolerant to rudeness. They are intolerant to rudeness, really. Now, if you have a child who is intolerant to rudeness, and you have a child who is rude, there's every likelihood that they are always going to clash. One is intolerant to rudeness, one is rude. They are always going to clash. Right? And one of the things that can further promote the rudeness is if you talk to your children disrespectfully. because we always follow their children. We are always ordering about, get out, shut up, nonsense, goats. Like parents call their children goats, tell your child to get out, to shut up, nonsense child, rubbish child. Your other children, they will learn, and they will tell their siblings, they will address their siblings by that. And guess what? Because that sibling, right, cannot challenge you, the parents cannot tell you to stop. By the time the younger one tells the older one, or the older one tells the younger one the same thing that you tell them, they'll start drama, clashing. They can't tell you to stop, but at least they can tell their sibling to stop, right? They can tell their sibling to stop. That will cost, sorry, my lamp just fell. Oh my gosh. I thought I did this way. I think I touched something. Okay, I think it's a bit okay now. That will cause issue, rifts, to cause them to fight. It will cause them to fight. You know, that kind of anger, the bitterness, the anger that they couldn't say it to you. They couldn't tell you to stop it. They couldn't tell you to get out. They couldn't fight you because you are the parents, right? All that anger that they couldn't fight you, they will pour it on the one that they could fight. Meanwhile, that one only learned from you. That one said, shut up, get out, goat, because they heard from you. You did it. Now, the one reacting is reacting because he couldn't react to you. So the one he was supposed to react to you, the one that he doesn't like being talked to like that, the one that his other sibling did, he put all of them on the sibling's head. It is why you must respect your children. You must talk to them respectfully because they are learning from you. They will learn from you how to talk. They learn from others. They learn from outside. That is it. But they also learn from you. It's just like you are the one that now give the final validation to what they are learning from outside. They hear all these things from outside to call human beings like them goats, to call human beings like them shut up, get out. They learn it from outside, right? So when you now do it at home, you are giving a validation. Yes, it's valid. Go ahead and do it. So you must learn to respect your sibling, your kids. You must learn to respect them as a parent. Noel, it's about to rain. That white trousers I washed, go and bring it, and the white shirt. Make sure mosquitoes don't come in. No, it will stain it. It has not rained in a while, so the rain may be dirty. So get it quickly before the rain starts. I was hoping that my class will finish before the rain starts. Then I can get it. Make sure mosquitoes don't enter. Okay, sorry about that. So they will learn from you and they will become disrespectful to each other. Another thing is, okay, let me even share more. A parent and I were talking about one of the son's self-confidence a couple of days ago. And she was telling me that she noticed that the elder brother to the younger brother, of course there are two boys, the elder brother will always like, whenever the younger brother has something to say, the elder brother will kind of play it down. Something like, it's true. Something like play it down. Make it feel as if it's not true. Or the younger brother is just talking out of points. You know, that was actually hurting the younger brother's self-confidence. Where did the boy learn it from? He probably would have learned it from one of his parents. Yes, how he talks down people, how people's opinion don't matter. You know, how the opinion don't matter. Now he now goes and does it to his sibling. That is it. You must model respect as a parent. You must talk about it. You must set boundaries. Now, this is why we have something called the communication rule. In the Visionary Parent Academy, we have the communication rule. I have the one I use for my children. One of them is you must not keep quiet when someone is talking to you. You don't interrupt. You wait for them to say. You don't assume you know what they are saying. You are going to listen to them. When they have finished saying what they are saying, you cannot air your opinion. Just don't assume they are talking rubbish or you already know what they want to say and you just go ahead and cut them short. No, It's part of our communication rule. So you must model respectful behaviors. You must teach them how to listen and acknowledge each other. They must learn how to listen to each other and acknowledge each other. As a parent also, you learn how to listen to your children. They have their opinions. They have reasons why they will say no. They will have reasons why they will say yes. You learn to listen to them. When you listen to them, you make them feel important. They also learn to listen to their siblings, and that actually brings respect for each other. We all love and respect people who listen to us, and listening to us makes us feel important. You must also learn to actually listen to your siblings, listen to your children, so that you can model it to them, and they learn to listen to each other. Boundaries, oh my God, yes, teach them to set boundaries and teach them to respect each other's boundaries. It is not negotiable. I tell my children, stop means stop, don't means don't, and no means no. The fact that someone is your sibling doesn't mean you should just go all out. You should take them for a ride. There are times they genuinely want you to stop, know when to stop. They genuinely want you not to, know when not to. They genuinely want a no, a no. So teach them to have boundaries and respect each other's boundaries. It leads to trust. It leads to respect. Respect each other's boundaries. If they have favorite things they don't want to share, then no. Don't force them to share what they don't want to share. They don't like the way you talk to them. That's boundaries. Respect it. Anything that they say they don't like this, don't assume they are pretending, they are faking it. No, they don't like it means they do not like it. So respect their boundaries. Teach your children to respect each other's boundaries. And as a parent, have a boundary. You also respect your children's boundaries. Express appreciation regularly. Express appreciation regularly. Teach your children to express appreciation for each other. Now, this is why in the Visionary Parents Academy, one of the challenges we have for this month is for our children to express, to appreciate each other. So every single day, they are expected to write something they appreciate in each other. They are expected to take something from morning till night, the good side of your sibling, what your sibling did that you like today, how they made you feel happy or anything. You are expected to write it out and drop it in our jar, our challenge jar for the month. That way, at the end of the month, we bring it all together. You appreciate your siblings. Because the truth of the matter is, it is always easy for us to look at errors, right? So even among siblings, it's always easy for us to look at errors, for them to look at errors. Even with you and your children, it's easy for you to look at errors. But in the challenge, every day you focus on the good side, what they have done that is good, and you write it down, you drop it in the jar, and at the end of the month, you see amazing things. Now, if you follow it from the beginning of the month, we have 31 days in November, which simply means by the time you are celebrating, you are going to have either 30 or 31 things to celebrate. Yeah, imagine you have 31 things to a good side of a person. It's going to be a lot of fun. So teach them to appreciate each other and to appreciate each other every single time. It will help build unity and peace. It can also be about you. You can also have your jar. They can also write about the parents, what you did today. Oh, mommy hugged me today. Mommy allowed me to do this today. Just for the entire family, everybody is part of the challenge. That is about building trust and respect in your family. Again, this is brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. What you want to do is to find out how you can join us. And before I forget, we also have a class coming up for preteens and teenagers. It is the Self-Led Mentorship Book Club. It's a class that promises to nurture self-leadership in your child. So as a parent, in the Visionary Parents Academy, you are going to get a discount. The children are supposed to pay 3,500 naira monthly. However, you are only going to pay 2,500 naira to have your child register with us in the self-led mentorship book club. You definitely want to join the Visionary Parent Academy. We have a lot of fantastic things for you. A lot of fantastic things. Okay, I think the rain is too much now. It is going to make me not I think the rain is going to struggle. Please, if you can hear me, let me know you can hear me so that I will keep on. If you can no longer hear me because the rain is quite heavy, then I'll stop the class now. If you can no longer hear me, I'll stop the class because the rain is very heavy, you know. I'll stop the class. Let me know if you can hear me. I can see. Okay, so we are back. That was network, a bit of network. Okay, because of the rain, I may have to stop now. We'll continue next week, Friday. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. If you have any question, leave it in the comment section. See you next week. Bye-bye.